Hello, everyone. Welcome back down to Apter's Alley East. This is Bill Apter, and let's go to Apter's Alley South. And who are you?
I'm Mac Davis. Good to see you, Bill.
Yes, good to see you too. And we have now made Apter's Alley, it's so wide and so large. We've now taken an office out in Mac Davis's studio in Atlanta, Georgia. So we now have Apter's Alley South. So thank you for letting us do that with the real estate there.
Well, hey, look, I appreciate just being on the show and being able to say something from the southern point of view.
Well, that's great. And I was born in the South. Did you know that?
Kind of.
The South Bronx. Yeah, New York. But my son lives in Vinings. Anyway, so welcome back, everyone, to the question of the week. And we would like you to spend some time and answer our question of the week right here on our YouTube channel, www.onewrestlingvideo.com, or here on Facebook or on Twitter or wherever you see it. And Mac, if these people want to send a question of the week to be considered for the question of the week, and we will send them a special gift. It will either be an After Chat DVD or it might be a classic magazine back from the class, and I'll sign everything. But if they want to
I don't
go,
even have a signed magazine.
I'll get you one when I see you in a few weeks. So where should people email if they want to submit the question of the week?
It's really simple, and I don't want to jinx myself because last time I said that I stumbled all over myself. But the email address is easy. It's afterchatquestionoftheweek@gmail.com.
That's pretty easy to remember, and you did it really well. So this week's question that we have chosen, and where is well, I had it on an email here, is from Michael Reardon from Omaha, Nebraska. And he said, Dear Bill and Mac, do you think that AEW is ready to go full steam against WWE? So, Mac, I'm going to open that up to you first.
Uh, I look at it two ways, Bill. The short answer is yes. I think that right now the environment is right for a Monday Night War, if that's what they really want down the road. I'm not quite sure if the talent is as ready as maybe the movement is. And I think Cody kind of addressed that. You know, he kind of brought all this up himself when he made a comment that he'd like to go on maybe a Monday night, somewhere down the line. And I think it'd be a good move. I think it'd be a lot of fun and interesting. Could they get the numbers that they need for TV is the only question I have, because their numbers are lower than what they're getting on Monday nights on Raw. And I don't know that changing from a Wednesday night to a Monday night is going to draw them any higher numbers. So
Well,
it could be a
remember,
battle. Right now, they got a good battle that seems fair to me on Wednesday.
well, remember now, and this is just me cutting into your thought, is that they have another hour available to them on TNT. So I'm talking about what happens if they go for one of those 3 hours on Monday night.
The businessman in me, the booker in me, the promoter in me would put an hour on TV on Monday nights, slap in the middle of Monday Night Raw, simply to pay back for what they did for Wednesday nights. It's really a business in the end of it. And if you want to be successful, you've got to compete. And so that's what I think they're willing to do. I don't want to see Dynamite move. I'd rather see, like you say right now, I'd rather see the new hour that they've gotten or the new show block that they have on TNT and use that to go against
Sure.
WWE
Well,
and some type of a counter programming.
I don't think they were thinking of moving Dynamite at all. I just think the extra hour is going to go somewhere. Now, my feeling is, so now we have AEW. They have some great talent. The pay-per-view Revolution was incredibly good. It really was. It really was some great
Very
matches. They have their fan base, and their fan base is growing. They now have toy lines in their company. They now have the Young Bucks have got a book coming out. Their international market is growing. So here's my thought. I think if they're going to make this move, it should not happen, even this extra 1 hour, until after WrestleMania. Because
All right.
because WrestleMania, as you know, is going to take over the entire pro wrestling sports entertainment world. So I think after WrestleMania happens and things calm down, we had WrestleMania, and now AEW is going to say, let's spread our wings. And, Tony Khan at the press conference, at the scrum, I hate when they use that word, at the scrum, was talking about doing everything right and perhaps down the line, spreading out a bit more. And one of the smart things that they are not doing, is they're not running spot shows. They're not running house shows, because the house shows generally, yeah, it's a thing of the past. And I think WWE down the line might really start running fewer house shows unless they're broadcasting them on the WWE network, where it would bring them some more revenue. So my thing is, are they ready to go full steam right now? I'd say no, not until sometime after WrestleMania.
And I agree. I think again too that you don't want to make any kind of moves like that too soon, because if you fire your shot too quick, you could ruin it, and that could be very detrimental not only to the new program but even to maybe that Wednesday night program if they're not careful. Because Vince knows how to kind of go after somebody when he feels like he's losing. He'll come up with something, and all it takes is one mistake by the other guy, and Vince will be all over him.
Well, remember though that these
What
guys.
they waited out a little bit and really plan this new move that they're maybe doing somewhere down the line.
Yeah, but remember that this other company has very deep pockets as well. Turner had deep pockets, etc., but management was the thing that eventually killed them. Just the wrong management in every
Right.
department. These people in AEW are making sure that they're bringing on people that are wrestling people, not businessmen who will teach you the wrestling business. So it's a different model. But I think no matter what happens, WWE will always have their audience. They will always be considered, and I hate to use this because they used it for WrestleMania, but the granddaddy of whatever this business is becoming.
Somebody asked me the other day the difference between WWE and AEW. They were trying to have this argument about, that they're both the same thing. In reality, not really to me. I've always seen WWE. There's a show on Netflix called Glow. Have you
Yes,
seen that?
of course.
Great show. And it's a show that's based on wrestling. I think WWE, and I don't mean this to be bad because Vince has even said this to Stone Cold, it's not the same wrestling we remember. I think WWE is more of a presentation kind of like Glow. It's a show based on professional wrestling.
You know what? That's so well said. That is so well said.
And the other professional shows that are out there are more professional wrestling that we remember when we were a little bit younger. Had
like
a little
NWA Power.
Edge, grit.
Yeah, like NWA Power does. That's correct.
Yes.
The other night on the pay-per-view as well, I loved what they did in the entertainment value of Chris Jericho's entrance. But have you noticed now something that WWE hasn't done a lot of, because they're a publicly traded company, et cetera, and it's also been kind of against the USA Network, and I'm sure Fox as well, is the use of blood. And AEW is not just using that in their pay-per-views, they're not afraid to put it on TNT.
I think that is a big edge. That was the edge that Monday Nitro had. Back when we saw Nitro going against Raw, they brought that hard edge with the blood and a little maybe saltier language into the programs. And as well as I do, and you especially know from the magazine years, red equals green.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's why we used to put bloody covers all the time.
Yep.
Because Mr. Weston, my mentor, used to say, wrestling magazines have to be a combination of blood and sex. That's what he said. Yeah, and that's what sold. That's what helped sell magazines.
He wasn't off, was he? I mean,
No, he wasn't back in the day. No, Absolutely not. Well, thank you, Mac. And now it's your turn, fans, to answer. Do you think AEW is ready to go full steam against WWE? Now, Mac, a lot of people have been commenting that you and I will be available to meet and greet in Rome, Georgia on April 25th.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the people more about that?
There's a big show taking place on April 25th in Rome, Georgia at the Forum River Center.
Yeah.
It's going to be a full day of events, and listen to some of the names that are going to be there. Sting, Eric Bischoff, The
Oh,
$1 Million Man, Barry Windham, J.J. Dillon, Jimmy Hart, Raven, Tony Atlas, Missy Hyatt, Teddy Long, Barbara Blank. Now, for many of you who don't know that name, Barbara Blank,
yeah.
she's also known as Kelly Kelly.
Kelly,
So
yes.
she'll be there. Bill will be there. I'll be there. There's going to be an incredible amount of folks that will be up there already. I know the tickets are selling well. And if you want tickets, you need to go on Facebook, pull up Superstars Fan Fest. They'll have all the information you need. And Bill and I will be there as part of the question and answer session for Bruiser Brody, as well as will be a part of the interviews prior to the actual Brody Cup 2 on
Yes.
Fight TV.
Which will be that evening. So it's a great day of pro wrestling. Mac Davis, I want to thank you. And,
Thank you.
I always ask you this before we go. I don't think there's anyone down here, so you could reveal the answer. Is wrestling fixed?
I didn't know it was broken
We'll see you
at the matches.